So, 400 years of advantage, more race hustle rhetoric coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. As always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. So, 400 years of advantage is obviously an example of historical crime. Now, what is this? Well, 400 years of advantage is an excuse, the excuse that black folks use as to why black people are lagging behind white people in just about everything, while at the same time every other group of other people in this country are prospering. Doesn't make any sense. But anyway, they always use 400 years of advantage as a reason why black people are lagging behind white people. You know, and I just love how they act as if the only, like, blacks and white people are the only people in the country. Like, America is just nothing but either black people or white folks. But this is all based off of slavery, and of course the history of treatment of black people in America wasn't great. We all know this. We all know the history. Again, there's no denying that. Nobody's denying that at all. The problem is when black people start to use this history as a crutch, as an excuse for anything. Again, the 400 years of advantage really truly means absolutely nothing, because it's not stopping you from achieving your goals in life. If you want to do something in life, as a black person in America, there's no income, there's no job, there's no job title, there's no position, there's no class, there's nothing off limits to a black person in America just for being black. So constantly crying about what happened in the past is just ridiculous, and it gets us nowhere. And all it does is just creates more victimhood, which is why I'm against the race hustling, because it's just doing black people no service. It's doing a great disservice to black people to keep focusing on race all the time. But 400 years of advantage, like I said, it's just not stopping any black person in America today from doing anything. So crying about it is pointless. Now, the whole point of this 400 years advantage is it kind of, what it does is it likens economics or free economic systems to one long endless marathon that everybody starts at the beginning, and if you start out first, you have this advantage. And this is what black people, you know, operate based upon when they say that these 400 years of advantage or this advantage. This is what they are. They operate based upon that assumption. The problem is that that's just not an accurate example or interpretation of what economics is. An honest comparison of economics or free economic system would be more like a carousel. This carousel is spinning and occasionally stopping and spinning and occasionally stopping. People are getting on and off at different points at different times. You know, you can get on poor and end up being a mega rich, a multimillionaire, right? You could be a millionaire and lose your fortune and get off dead poor. You can get on rich, stay rich. You can get on poor, stay poor. But it's entirely upon you. So it really doesn't matter how you start off. It's more a matter of how you finish. And this is why the 400 years of advantage is absolutely ridiculous if you want to use this as an analogy for a free economic system. It is honestly, it doesn't make any sense, because I mean, if you are a rich person, you're a black person, you were poor, you end up in the hood, and you're rich now. Does some white person, quote unquote, having some middle income white person, you know, having an advantage on you, does that make any sense? Is it really relevant? It's irrelevant. You know, if you're a rich black person and there's a white person, you have 10 times the net worth as they have. Are you really worried about this so-called advantage they have on you? No, you don't. And the more black people keep being victimhood or being victims, the least amount of black people are going to go out there and do what it takes to earn. I mean, look at one of the best examples I always use to destroy that nonsense is if we look at the two highest grossing incomes per capita, the two groups that are earning the most per capita than any other group in America. Number one, Indians or people from India. Number two, Nigerians, black people from Nigeria, have the second highest income per capita. So, like I said, if there really truly was this issue of a 400 years of advantage, then how are people from Nigeria coming here and achieving what they have, right? How are people from India coming here and achieving what they have? How big of an advantage do white people have on them? You know, if you are an Indian American and your family came here, 30 years ago, and y'all have high incomes, children have high income, the parents have, oftentimes they're doctors and engineers. So they generally go into the STEM fields, which is why they have such a high income per capita. But if your family came here 30 years ago, well, what advantage do white people have on y'all? It's not like they're coming from this economic mega house, India. India is a poor nation. It's a third world nation for the most part. So how can any black person say, use the 400 years of advantage when white people have big advantage on these two groups, yet look at what they're producing? Why? Because they're not victims. It's just insanity. So the next time you hear any black person cry about some 400 years of advantage, well, now you know, and knowing it's half the battle, and as always, until next time.